black fatigue, while we're tired of ghetto culture. People, what up? What's good? It's your boy TwoCentz, man. As y'all can see, we got an interesting topic from Blackie Speaks. If y'all missed it, we actually reacted to his video. It was like the YN mindset is ruining society, right? We watched that video. I thought that was a really interesting video. And so apparently he's talking about black fatigue. I don't know what black fatigue is. Are people tired of black people? Are people just tired of, you know, the ghetto stuff that you see online, like the, you know, all the fights and, you know, people being loud and disruptive in public? I don't know which way this video is going to go, but I'm very intrigued by this title. So let's dive into it and see what he's talking about, right?
Hey man, it's getting spooky. I just came across something called black fatigue, and basically it's white Americans are sick of our shit.
I got news for you. Black Americans are sick of your shit.
What is our shit, right? It like I said, is it the fighting online? Is it the like what, you know? It's unfortunate that terms like black fatigue even exist, bro, because the majority of black people are just minding their business, bro. The majority of black people aren't like we you know, I guess I can't speak for the majority of black people, but you know what I'm saying? It's just like, how do you get away from the idea that, oh, if somebody's black, they're a thug, or they're gonna steal from you, or gonna rob you? Like, the media has a lot of things have to change. Again, man, he talking about black people tired of black people as well. Like, the community's got to change. Like, fathers need to be in their kids' lives. All sorts of I don't even know where to start with what I'm trying to say, y'all. But let's continue, man. Let's just let the video rock out for a little bit.
People are sick of black people's shit.
Basically, society is saying that they're tired of how black people are blaming things that have happened to us historically in the past, and they are also now adding different things that they have seen in society to that behavior as well, like loud mouthing, or maybe, you know, using certain words or certain behaviors in public.
Black fatigue seems to be growing, especially within the black community. There's a growing frustration within certain behaviors, and more people are starting to speak up about it.
White people, black people, Hispanic people are saying we have black fatigue because of the behavior of some black people.
It's not racist to call black people out for their behavior and what they're doing to society at this moment. I'm glad people are noticing this, because it's been so many years and it's finally catching up to y'all.
So, is there some truth to it, or is it just another form of racism? And how come so many black people are starting to speak up about this now? Either way, we got a lot to talk about today. Now, black fatigue is a growing term in the social media world, a phrase that's meant to explain a rising frustration, dissatisfaction.
So because he did that, he's black, and he knocked bro's plate off the thing, is black fatigue. If he was white, what is it called? If he was Hispanic, what is it called? And I don't really want to hear, bro, like, oh, if he was white, he never did that, or if he was Asian or whatever, he would never do that. Like, it's rude and disrespectful people in every race, bro. I really, you know what I'm saying? I really don't get, like, I don't even know how to say what I'm trying to say, y'all, but the only way to solve this is if we see people as individuals, bro. Right? We stop judging an entire race for the actions of a few bad actors. On every side, whether you're black, white, whatever you are, bro. And you know, that's never gonna happen. People are gonna see a white police officer, you know, a video of a white police officer harassing a black person online, and instantly hate all white police officers and think they're racist. On the other hand, they're gonna see that dude knock bro's plate out of his hand and think all black people misbehave. And it sucks. And obviously, man, we all know what the best mindset is to have. Like I said, judge people as individuals. See, don't, you know, be racist and prejudiced. But you know what I'm saying? It's a losing battle, bro. But let's see what Blackie Speaks is gonna break down in this video, man.
Action and even resentment towards a small portion of the.
Side note, y'all, I know I'm talking a lot. I don't hate anybody, bro. You always have to give a billion disclaimers online, especially in these type of videos, because people love to misconstrue your opinions or love to try to put things on you. I don't hate anybody. I don't sit up and say, oh, I wish I was white. I don't sit up and say, oh, I wish I was Mexican or any of that. I'm just watching the video. I'm giving my opinion, bro. Please. Stop. Don't even get started with none of that y'all finna get started with.
Black community and some of the dysfunctional behaviors that are increasingly being called out. But here's the thing, this isn't a new term. The phrase black fatigue was originally coined in 2020 by Mary Frances Winters, a black author from New York. She was inspired to explore the concept after hearing the same phrase come up again and again from black millennials. I'm tired, they kept on saying. The exhaustion wasn't just physical, it ran deep, tied to emotion, history, and identity. In her book, Black Fatigue, How Racism Erodes the Mind, Body, and Spirit, she explains that the original meaning of the term was about the centuries-long toll of the systematic racism passed down through generations. Now that was the original definition, but now the term has taken on a completely new meaning.
Now to black fatigue, it has recently been turned into a feeling that some white and black people have who say they are damn tired of foolishness of some black people.
It is a completely behavior-based issue. And when white people, black people, Hispanic people are saying we have black fatigue because of the behavior of some black people, we've all seen it, we all know what it is, it's everywhere.
There are thousands of TikToks on it, posts all over X, YouTube videos, and even some mainstream outlets starting to cover it. I only started hearing about this term very recently, and at first I assumed it was mostly coming from people outside the black community, but to my surprise, a large portion of the conversation is actually being led by black people, and that's when I knew that I had to do my own research by looking into this and sharing my take on it with you. Many of the most viral TikToks on this topics are coming from within the community itself.
Black fatigue is real. Everybody is tired of black people, but it's two specific types of black people that everyone is tired of. Number one, everybody is tired of loud, ghetto, and ratchet, and violent, and mean, and angry all the time. Everybody is tired of them. Nobody wants to deal with them. Even other black people do not want to deal with these people. You know when you see them in public, you know when they're gonna give you attitude at the CVS. Everybody knows it and they wanna avoid it.
So how did we even get here? The answer to this can go in a few different directions. But let's talk about the most impactful factor of this, being the media. We're talking viral body cam footage of police encounters involving black people to Dine and Dash stories that reinforce.
Cause yeah, man, like you don't hear about the black doctor, right? The black engineer, the black inventor. We didn't hear nothing about bro that was missing for 3 weeks until he was missing for 3 weeks. All the years he been trying to like convert gasoline or plastic into gasoline, plastic into fuel, right? You don't hear any of the black success stories or anything about the normal black person in the media, right? Black people don't control the media. I was gonna go somewhere with that, but I'm gonna stop there and unpause the video.
Negative stereotypes.
Surveillance cameras caught 3 people leaving without paying a $200 bill for a shrimp and lobster dinner, according to the owners.
Or the countless of fights, whether it's on a street corner or inside a McDonald's. The majority of these clips tend to feature people who, look like me, and they also seem to go viral, often shaping how outsiders view blackness as a whole. This type of content has definitely influenced how a lot of people, white, Hispanic, or even black folks, view the culture. Unfortunately, over time, it's helped reinforce harmful narratives, and in many cases has been used to normalize different forms of racism. And let's be clear, we all understand that none of the reactions rooted in these stereotypes are justified, because it's not fair or accurate to take the behavior of a few and apply it to an entire group.
But it's going to continue to happen over and over again, right? That's never going to stop. People are always going to be racist, and they're always going to be prejudiced. But you still, you still shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? As much of a losing battle that might feel to fight, especially as somebody that's always, judged based on how they look. You still, you know what I'm saying, you shouldn't do that, right?
However, when certain behaviors are caught on camera and go viral,
Because it's not the right thing. You know what I'm saying?
over and over and over again, they unfortunately start to paint an image of the entire community based on a handful of viral clips. Not because they reflect us, because obviously, I'm not on that. If you're black, you're probably not on this. At the end of the day, though, all the viral content is...
Most people, regardless of their race, are minding their business, staying out of trouble, not getting in anybody's way, bro. Right? It's very easy to understand that, but when it comes to black people, I guess it's not so easy to understand that, right? I don't get it.
Based on real situations that happened in the real world. Now let's take a closer look at some of the real world examples that have been fueling these conversations, starting with the Dine and Dash incidents. Now during the pandemic, or should I say the bandemic, in 2020 when the stimmy checks, the ban started hitting people's accounts and everybody started acting like Black Youngster when he first signed his record deal. Yes, the pandemic, the bandemic. Your money. We start seeing more of these so-called dine and dash videos pop up.
We've all heard of dining and dashing. That's when a customer comes into a restaurant, grabs a bite to eat, and then skips out on the bill, leaving the restaurant without paying.
For all my international viewers, dine and dash is when people go to a restaurant, stuff their greedy bellies with food, drinks, and all that you can possibly eat, and then they leave and they don't pay a single dime. This phenomenon or crime has always existed, but it became increasingly common in America after the pandemic.
They watched as the party of 7 sat at their table, their food already packaged in to-go boxes. Then they began to get up and eventually run out the restaurant's door, leaving their $200 bill unpaid.
So these clips of large groups walking out without paying began to go viral after 2020. And as it relates to the topic at hand, unfortunately, the majority of the people in those videos were black, and that obviously makes us look very bad. Now, is it all black folks? Of course not, because we're not a monolith. The behavior of one individual doesn't mean the next person is going to show up in the same way. So applying that...
Yes, it does. Right? We know it doesn't, but, yes, it does. Y'all get what I'm saying.
Assumption broadly would be inaccurate. I mean, if you're black, if you're watching this, I'm sure we're probably going to relate, but I would personally never go to a restaurant if I knew that my account was empty. I mean, at that point, we're having sleep for dinner because we're grown, okay? However, with that being said, one thing I've consistently heard from a lot of my friends in the service industry, I'm talking waiters and waitresses and even restaurant managers, is that black customers are the hardest to serve. Now, this has not only been said by all races of people, but I'm saying like other black folks in the service industry are saying this, okay? Whether it's not tipping, sending food back too often, or asking for refunds after they've ate, it's often said that those things are more common among black customers. So that's the perception a lot of people in the service industry have of us, which is very unfortunate and it's very sad. I mean, it's not a comfortable thing to acknowledge or even talk about. I hate the fact that some people might expect a certain type of behavior of people who look like me as soon as, let's say, we might step into a spot, right? And although, the stereotype doesn't obviously apply to all black people like me or you, I can't, if you're black, that is, or if you're white, then obviously I ain't talking about you, right? I can't ignore the experiences they've shared with me. Right. Now let's dive into the dine and dash stuff a little more. Because speaking of a particular incident, which was...
And you know what's crazy, bro? Like, the sensible person is going to see this video. The black people that's dining and dashing and twerking at the graduation and you know what I'm saying, yelling at the waiter or whatever, is not going to watch this. The non-racist person of another, like the non-racist white person or the non-racist Hispanic, right? The sensible people are going to watch this video. The racists are not going to see this, and the black people that are contributing to the black fatigue, whatever you want to call it, movement, are not going to see this either. And that's the most frustrating part about this, bro.
Two stories I played you earlier. It went viral a few weeks ago. A black-owned restaurant in Chicago called Flav's served 3 people, 2 women and a man, all black, and they decided to run up a tab of over $200 of shrimp and lobster, okay, and a bunch of drinks too. And then they decided to run out the spot.
It's actually disappointing. You know, it's very disappointing to see that from the community that we actually serve, because we pour into our community.
We're a small business, and I see this happening so often to a lot of different small businesses throughout the city.
Now, I'm not saying that doing this to other groups of people, regardless of race, is okay, but it's extremely sad that this was black folks doing this to other black folks. The young woman, the waitress who served the table, was a black woman who had kids at home, mind you. Her not getting a percentage of a tip literally means she's not going to be able to survive in this economy. Because in America, tipping isn't optional, it's survival.
That's another thing too. I mean, this video isn't about the like food service industry or tipping, bro. Like, why aren't they paying waiters and waitresses a livable wage in 2025? Like, why isn't that happening? Not to be discussed in this video, but just wanted to point that out.
A lot of
like, why do they need to survive off of a tip?
Servers don't even make minimum wage. Their income depends on those tips. So when you dine and dash, you're not just finessing the system, you're hurting working class people, many of whom are black themselves, just trying to, make it through this world and this economy like the rest of us. By the way, really quickly, if you're enjoying this conversation, drop a like for the algorithm and subscribe if you want to hear from me and you want to see my ugly ass face, okay?
They apologized. They sent someone up here to pay the bill, but I declined to accept it. At that point, it was just like, we're gonna pursue this the right way.
And apparently they sent somebody to pay the tab on their behalf after they got exposed on social media. So you telling me that y'all didn't even have the decency to go in like grown folks and say, I apologize, I'm sorry, this economy is beating my ass. Not that it would make it okay, but you get what I'm saying? Like, you didn't even have the decency to actually go in and show your face. That's crazy. They sent another person to pay because they didn't have enough courage to show their faces in the establishment.
Right, we already seen y'all.
Now, another story that went viral, again, featuring black folks. Absolutely hate the fact that we're getting this type of PR, but it is what it is, right? This story involved 3 black women, once again, in Chicago. Can somebody tell me what's in the water in Chicago with all these...
I don't know, bro. I lived in Chicago my whole life, man. I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Incidents happening. The audacity of this particular story is next level because these 3 women didn't only dine and dash after a $262 bill, they were also caught in 4K, strike number 1.
The 3 women from Rochester, New York visited Soul Vibes in the Near North neighborhood to celebrate a birthday and left behind a surprise, an unpaid tab of over $200.
And they also made a reservation with their names, phone numbers, and personal info, strike number 2.
They were spotted on surveillance, leaving one by one within 30 seconds of the server stepping away. They also forgot that they signed up on the wait list before being seated, including their name and phone number.
And strike number 3 is that they actually went on social media and they thanked a black-owned business for the free food that they stole, right? God. And that's how they ended up getting caught.
And to add insult to injury, they posted this onto social media, thanking the restaurant for the free food while laughing at waitstaff like Chloe Jackson.
You hear a lot of us screaming support black businesses, and this is how we treat each other. It's so sad, and it's also really hard to ignore that these types of crimes are becoming more and more common in general. And the fact that it's a lot of melanated folks doing this to other people who look like them, I mean, it's a shame. What do you want me to say? I'm not celebrating that I have to make this video. Like, it's actually an uncomfortable video to make because I'm not happy to see black businesses suffering because other people who look like them are literally stealing money from them. Like, I absolutely hate that I have to talk about this, and it breaks my heart. By the way, if you've been rocking with your boy for a while and want to support, just want to let you guys know that I dropped my culture, a mindset that some black people are choosing to embody. Similar to the YN mindset topic that we recently spoke about, which is definitely a great video that I would recommend that you check out. The YN mindset is a term that's, of course, coined by me at this point, which describes a youth-driven culture often tied to erratic behavior that more often than not ends up harming others, whether it's stealing, robbing, or just being loud and belligerent in public spaces. Now, this culture that I'm talking about is separate from blackness itself. I mean, we're talking about a fatigue with what often is called ghetto culture. And ghetto culture is not black culture, nor is it foundational black American culture. When I say the word culture, by the way, I mean it in the actual definition. And the definition is the shared attitudes, behaviors, and values of a specific group of people. This isn't about race. It's a mindset that anyone can adopt, regardless of racial background. With that being said, I've seen this kind of behavior from white folks, Hispanic folks, and black folks, of course.
Right.
So it's not about skin color. It's about class, environment, and ultimately how someone chooses to carry themselves. Because the way you choose to walk through this life, your demeanor, your energy, that's not only something you can control, but it is a conscious decision. We all have a choice in how we show up. So when I mention ghetto culture, I'm not talking about blackness. I'm talking about a specific pattern of behavior, which is undoubtedly dysfunctional and not a productive way of showing up in society. And a lot of it is often born from struggle, limited resources, and sometimes a rejection of accountability. And the accountability aspect is important because when black people are constantly boxed into a certain identity by the world, but especially by each other, it creates a mental and cultural trap, which is ironic because, you know, that kind of makes me think about trap music and the fact that trap music is a thing. Because when you really think about the name, it sounds like the soundtrack for a lifestyle designed to keep you stuck, trapped in survival mode, trap music, trapped in dysfunction, and ultimately trapped in the lower levels of society. And often when a black person within the community wants to grow, like they make a decision to actually grow or take a responsibility or move differently, they're met with pushback from their own people. They get told things like, you think you're better than us, or that's not how.
Stop acting white. Just because I'm using words that I learned in school. Stop acting white, gang. I'm gonna let Blackie keep talking, y'all. He's spitting.
We do things. A lot of my black folks, I'm sure y'all can relate to exactly what I'm talking about right now. Elevating beyond who you used to be becomes a problem, and sticking with what you know becomes the norm, even if it means staying stuck in pain or dysfunction down the line. And the question is, why is this accountability issue even a thing in the first place? Specifically within parts of the black community in America. Understanding this is not about making excuses, by the way, because we do have to acknowledge the subconscious effect of generations of instability and what it really does to people. When you grow up
and before he even gets into it, if I had to guess, bro, like, and I have both parents, man. My parents are married, bro. You know, a household without a father in it, chances are, first of all, if you're not even taking accountability for your kids, right? Man, I don't care about it, man. I'm finna go over here. You know what I'm saying, and I'm finna, like, so your dad that's not even in your life is already, he already rejects you. He doesn't take accountability for you. So and so now you're also missing the figure that's going to teach you how to be accountable for your actions. So, you know, that's just a little bit of you know where it might come from. But obviously Blackie did his research, so let's hear what he got. I'm calling him Blackie. Let's just unpause, bro.
Where poverty is the norm, where instability is constant and neglect is a part of daily life. What happens is certain mindset start to form. You learn to cut corners.
Hold on, y'all. Let me change the camera. I'm sorry. My bad, y'all. Camera battery change. We back.
Because survival starts to feel more important than structure, and you begin to distrust institutions, which, to be fair, black people in America have had valid reasons to distrust for a long time. You feel like the world around you has failed you, and that leads to behaviors rooted in avoidance, rebellion, and sometimes hopelessness. During the Jim Crow era, black people were stripped of opportunity, education, protection, and dignity. Entire communities were locked out of wealth, building, and basic rights, and that creates a ripple effect. When generation after generation is forced to adapt just to survive, it plants the seed for behaviors rooted in survival over structure. So right now we're talking about the psychological and subconscious effect of what's happened in history, but even with all that context, okay, with all that being said, I want to make something very clear. At the end of the day, how you show up in public spaces, whether you dine and dash or not, isn't about slavery or Jim Crow. It's about personal accountability. Whether you're white, black, Latino, Asian, purple, green, I don't care, blue. The truth is, people from all backgrounds are tired of ghetto culture. And like we touched on earlier, ghetto culture and black culture are not the same thing. They've been falsely lumped together, especially by the entertainment industry, in order to sell an image, but they're not synonymous, and they are not the same thing. What's really happening is this. The bad behavior of a small group within a larger group is being tied to race, when in reality it's about culture, class, and choices. And as someone who's black myself and has observed a lot of the mindsets that permeate within the black community, I think the one thing that's holding a lot of us back is the victimhood mentality. A lot of us as kids, through the media, the people around us, and through politics, are taught that the world should feel sorry for us based on what's happened in history. And yes, I do believe in educating ourselves and others on what's happened in history, right? Because it's very important to know. But I don't believe in letting history hold you back from writing your current story.
Right. My thing is, I just wish that, you know, the history. How am I trying to say this, y'all? I agree with him. My thing is like, people try to discount or discredit black history as, you know, a way to ignore, like, they discount and discredit black history as like a way to ignore, you know, the reasons why some of the issues are the way they are today. Y'all get what I'm saying? I could have explained that a little bit better, but you know, like, but at the same time, I'm with him. You know what I mean?
Because at the end of the day, if you really think about it, it doesn't make sense. But ain't no way our ancestors.
You know, like, there's, just because your parents or your great grandfather and all them, you know what I'm saying, came from slavery and this and that, does not mean that you should be stealing today. But it is the reason why, you know, your city is set up the way it's set up, and all the black people live in the poorer parts of the city, and you know, the funds aren't being used in that part of the city, and it's violent over there because everybody is poor, and the lack of resources leads to this issue and that issue. And so you're more inclined to be the type of person that will steal from somebody or dine and dash. At the same time, you shouldn't be dining and dashing. But again, you can't ignore that, right? Let's unpause it.
Went through all that just for us to feel sorry for ourselves. It doesn't make any sense. I've never been a fan of any group of people looking at me and saying, poor you because of this and that. Not only do I not want your sympathy, but you can keep that because I don't need it. What I say is, my battle scars don't define me. They're just a part of my story. Now let's lighten the load for a second and talk about a viral story that ties into everything we've been talking about. The Carnival cruises. I'm sure a lot of y'all have heard about this one. For my international viewers, Carnival is a popular American cruise line that operates out of Florida.
Oh yeah, they don't want the black people on the cruises no more.
Minus the, drama, which we're going to get into in a second, right? A few weeks ago, Carnival put up a message to their guests with a list of new rules. Things like no loud music on speakers, no smoking in restricted areas, and no weed on board. Pretty basic stuff if you ask me. Now, there's a lot of backlash on social media about these new rules. Some people felt like Carnival was trying to push black folks out as customers, especially since more and more black people have been cruising in recent years.
See, and yeah, this is the problem when you're mixing in black culture with the ghetto culture. Black culture is not smoking weed and playing loud music, man. That's ghetto culture, bruh. We don't want no ghetto, right, on the boat. I get it. But we also I feel like a lot of even black people don't understand the difference between black culture and ghetto culture because, like he mentioned, the media mixes the two together, right? Artists like Sexy Red and so on and so forth, man.
But let's be real, the backlash doesn't make no sense at all, okay? First of all, I'm generally confused as to why we'd assume those rules were automatically about us. Like, if you hear no fighting, no weed, no indecent clothes, and your first thought is they must be talking about black people, right, that says more about what's been normalized in some of our spaces than it does about the company's intentions. Because when I read those rules, I didn't associate them with black folks at all. My first thought was, okay, looks like they're just trying to filter out the chaos. It sounded like a business setting a standard for the type of crowd they want, not a coded attack on race. So the fact that so many people, especially in black Twitter, did take offense kind of shows how deeply some of these behaviors have been tied to our image, even when they shouldn't be. And honestly, I really take offense to that, okay? Because the rules didn't mention race, they mentioned behavior. Carnival is a business, and like any business, they want to create a safe environment for everyone. I mean, there's kids on these cruises, there's families, people who are just trying to relax, okay? Calling that racism waters down what real racism actually looks like, if you ask me. The truth is, the people complaining the loudest were probably the ones who had no intention of following the rules in the first place. And honestly, you know what? I'm just getting to that point where I'm tired, because I'm just tired of a small group of loud, reckless individuals getting all this attention, and the rest of us just gotta get judged for the behavior of this very like small group of black people in the black community. Like, I'm tired of being boxed into stereotypes I don't relate to or condone. I'm tired of having to feel like
I'm with him, but at the same time, bro, like, I'm not tired of it because I know it would never stop. You get what I'm saying? So there's that.
I gotta prove I'm not like that just to get basic respect. I'm tired of seeing the worst examples of us go viral and then get labeled as representation. That's not black culture. That's dysfunction, packaged and sold as entertainment, and we're done letting it speak for us. Personally, I don't have black fatigue. I have people who don't know how to act in public fatigue. I have no home training fatigue. And this is not about race, right? It's about how you show up in shared spaces with other human beings. Respecting others in that way, it's not hard, but somehow people still have not learned that. The saddest part about this whole black fatigue thing is that it's only gonna get worse on both sides.
Yeah.
On one hand, we got the youth, like the YNs we talked about, running around playing stick-up men, acting like Tony Montana, catching felonies and bodies and pushing dysfunction like it's normal. A lot of these kids don't have father figures, no structure, no guidance, so the behavior continues and the tension keeps building. And then we have the small group of black folks who show up with no respect, no self-awareness, no discipline. They're gonna keep making it harder for the rest of us. And as that continues, unfortunately, more people outside of our community are gonna grow resentful. And the same thing is also gonna happen within the community. There's gonna be more assumptions, more stereotypes, more division, and I absolutely hate that for us. If there's one thing I really want to say is we have to start holding each other accountable for how we show up, period.
Yeah.
Too many of us walk through life, period, avoiding real conversations about accountability because we don't want to ruffle feathers. But that's the very thing that's keeping us stuck. And this is especially relevant in the black community. Real accountability is what's going to create a safer environment, not just for us, but for our future kids as well. Because at the end of the day, we're all a part of the same society. And if we've gotten to a point where basic respect feels optional, we've already lost. At the end of the day, I just really hope that this kind of conversation opens the door for more conversations to be had about the things that are actually going on in the world in general. What's actually happening, why it's happening, and how we move forward. This is about calling out bad behavior. It's not about tearing each other down or division. It's about accountability, growth, and wanting better for all of us. If you made it this far, drop a little like
and
on
I'm with him, bro. Shout outs to Blackie Speaks, man. It's just the people who need to see this video are not going to watch it. Or if they're going to watch it and misrepresent what he's saying and accuse him of being racist and anti-black and you know, it seems hopeless, you guys, and obviously I don't have the answers, bro. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, I enjoyed the video, man. You know, y'all leave a like, subscribe to Blackie Speaks, man. As always, it's your boy TwoCentz. Say it with me. TCZ. We out.